3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, my name is Berserk, and if you're new to the channel, go down, hit the like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get this guide started. To start Algeth'ar Academy off, you'll come across 5 dragonkind located in this circle here. Each one will grant you a permanent buff that'll stay on you for the remaining of the dungeon, so it stays on you through death. The bronze gives you a 5% haze, the blue gives you 8 mastery point, green will give you a 10% healing taken, red will give you 5% burst, as well as black will give you 5% crit strike. There is the option to go left to the Veximus boss or right to the Overgrown Ancient. I just recommend going to the right, especially during Tyrannical Week, just so if you could clear that boss, you can clear any of the bosses. Alright, and from here I'm going to speed the video up just to save time. The Aggravated Skitterfly, they have 2 different mechanics. The Agitation, which causes the caster to inflict 25% increased physical damage, and they also do Darting Sting, which, as you can see, them fly through and you do a pretty high amount of damage there, so I recommend staying close. The Agitation can be soothed to help with negate some of that damage here. The Vile Lasher right here, just use cooldowns. The main thing for this, you're going to want to dodge Detonation Seed, which you see here. It's going to be the green swirls, and basically what it does, it inflicts damage. You notice that the DK died with the one shot, but it does a lot of damage and it can disorient you for 5 seconds. Then again here, I'm just dodging the green swirls. I'm trying not to get hit. Right. And you just go ahead and pull the next 2 groups. It's going to be kind of like a rinse and repeat. Pop some cooldowns, do some damage, dodging the green stuff. It's just super important that you don't get hit. And then you see there again, I dodged the green stuff, trying to target the explosions as well. This week sucked for healers, picking up the explosions and bursting. Alright, this is going to be the first boss. This is going to be Overgrown Ancient. He has basically 2 different mechanics. He'll do one thing that's called Germinate and then Branch Out. So as soon as you get on pull here, I recommend stacking up and then deciding to either rotate left or right, because he'll do this move. It's called Germinate, and he leaves this little thing on the ground. If it hits you, it's going to throw you back. This first round, the Hungry Lasher, just burst it down as fast as you can, and then he will release what is called the Ancient Branch, and basically what that does, it can do a healing touch, and it will cast immediately, and then it'll cast that every 10 seconds if you don't kill it. This group here, this group will start damaging you. They'll leave stacks on you, and that's going to be called Splinter Bark, and what it does is it causes the player to bleed every 3 seconds for a minute, if you don't get cleared. If you're a paladin, you can use Cleanse Toxin to get rid of that, or you can also use your Divine Shield if you're talented to get the AoE taunt, so you don't lose aggro. Alright everyone, this wraps up Overgrown Ancient. Key takeaway is keep the Germinates close and kick the Ancient Branch. Other than that, it should go pretty smoothly. The next enemy is going to be the Guardian Sentry. This is an unavoidable enemy. He has 2 main mechanics and 3 if you're a tank. The first one, look here, is going to be Expel Intruders. Basically what that is a large AoE. It does a pretty decent amount of damage, and it is a knockback, so it can knock you off the map. And then the tank mechanic is going to be called Storm Slash, and basically that occurs about every 10 seconds. If you don't have any kind of damage mitigation, it'll hurt pretty bad. You can actually see it happen right here. And so you need to have some type of mitigation here. And then you have the deadly winds, which you can see right behind the enemy and over there, that it looks like a tornado kind of moving in small circles. What it does, it can stun you and it can do a significant amount of damage. Right, and now we're moving over to the Croth platform, aka the Eagle Gauntlet. This first group of ads right here is the Territorial Eagles. They put a stacking debuff on the tank called Peck. It does physical damage and then does physical damage every 1.5 seconds for the next 6 seconds. And then there will be a next group of ads right here. You need to dodge the dive bomb. Basically, it dives down into a 6-yard radius. Dodge that, and then also the Alpha Eagle here has 2 different mechanics. One called Call of the Flock, which enrages all nearby eagles. So that's a high priority kick. If you miss the kick, it's okay, you can stun or soothe them. And then it also has Gust, which turns to a random player and then casts a frontal cone, causing physical damage and a knockback. It's just super easy to sidestep. And then the exact same thing here. The only difference is that there are going to be 2 Alpha Eagles versus just 1. So if need be, just try to get a party member to kick the other eagle if you can. And now we're moving on to Croth, the next boss. He has a couple different mechanics. The first one will be Savage Peck. It's a tank buster, but it does physical damage every second for the next 10 seconds. This move occurs approximately every 15 seconds. The next thing that he does is Deafening Screech, which that does a AoE damage and then interrupts anyone that is casting at that time. If it interrupts, it will lock you out of that School of Magic for the next 6 seconds. At 75%, play ball will occur. Basically, you have the option between a left side fire and the right side wind. Normally, I'll ask the healer on how many stacks they'll want. It'll be usually in between 3 or 4, depending on the week. But basically, if you choose fire, Firestorm occurs. You'll see red circles on the ground. If you get hit by it, it'll cause damage and it'll stun you for 3 seconds. And then it'll also, as soon as it's done, as soon as it's casted, Croth will be stunned and makes her take increased damage by 75% for the next 12 seconds. Normally you'll want this done at around 47%. We kind of missed it on this group, so we didn't get to pick up the wind side. But what that does, it causes wind pushing you to one side of the map. You'll also notice roving cyclones, which will cause damage and knock you back. But you'll also come across a thing which is Gale Force, and basically it is where you pick it up on the ground and it'll grant you 45% haste and 50% movement speed, as well as make you immune to the wind. And so see here that we kind of missed it, so we didn't get to use it, but that's okay. All we're doing here is just kind of dodging, weaving in and out, dodging the gust, dodging the red balls. And this will conclude Croth. We're going to head towards Veximus. These next 2 groups here is going to be the Arcane Forager, the Corrupted Mana Fiend, and the Spellbound Battle Axe. The Spellbound Battle Axe will put a dot on the tank called Severing Slash, which inflicts damage every second for 6 seconds. The Corrupted Mana Fiend will do a move called Mana Void, which will put a 4-second dot on one person, and then they explode and drain mana from anyone nearby. And then the Arcane Ravager does a move called Vicious Lunge, which they just lunge and cause physical damage. This group here is the Spellbound Scepter. It has a move Mystic Blast. As you can see, I hard CC that. Basically, that does a huge AoE, and it can actually wipe your group depending on the key. And then it has a move called Arcane Rain. I blind light that, but it looks like the move still got off because you can see the purple swirls on the ground. Just dodge those. And then you have the Arcane Ravager. It'll do a move called Vicious Ambush. You notice that the hunter went to the left corner. Whenever he goes to do Vicious Lunge on him, he just steps, hides it so it doesn't jump away. And then it does the move Rift Breath, which after the jump, it'll immediately turn towards the tank and start causing breath. All you do is sidestep it. And now I'm going to speed the video up just a little bit. just to save time purposes, just remember to kick the Mystic Scepter and kick the Corrupted Mana Fiend. The next few pulls are going to be the Arcane Forager and the Ravager. Just kick those. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward all the way to the boss's platform. Alright, so this next group has the Corrupted Mana Fiend, 2 of those, the Spell Battle Axe, and the Unruly Textbook. That Unruly Textbook needs to be kicked. It has a move called Monotonous Lecture, and it puts up enemy target to sleep, so it'll put one of y'all to sleep. It can be dispelled by magic, so most healers, Warlock, Imp, or a Shaman can remove it with their Tremor Totem, but if you can get it kicked, that'd be even better. The same thing as this with pull, focus on the Monotonous Lecture, the Mana Void, and the Surges. Alright, so this pull right here has 2 of the Corrupted Mana Fiend, 2 of the Unruly Textbook, and 1 Spellbound Scepter. I mainly focus the Spellbound Scepter so I can kick the Mystic Blast. So we didn't get all of it there, so I almost went down. And then try to see if you can get 2 of the DPS to get the Unruly Textbook. You saw that I hard CC'd the Arcane Rain to make it a little bit easier for everyone. Other than that, nothing too difficult as we go ahead and get set up for the boss. Tanks for this fight will want to keep Veximus faced away from the group. He does a move called Arcane Expulsion, and that basically is a frontal cone magic damage. It is unavoidable to you, but you can help your team by not nuking them down. This here is Arcane Orbs, and you need to soak these, because if not, it'll give him, you'll see it right here, it'll give him 20 energy, and it does an AoE damage. Whenever you soak an orb, it does it stacking debuff called Oversurge. That increases damage taken from absorbing Arcane Orbs. And so if you have someone like a Paladin, they can use a Divine Shield, and they can soak all the orbs. Right here you see is Arcane Fissure. Basically what that does is damage to all players. It pushes them back, and you see the blue circles on the ground, and it inflicts damage with anyone within 4 yards. Other than that, a couple tips is that healers can dispel Oversurge, so they can pick up an orb and then dispel it, and then pick it up for someone else, and then try to keep them healed up during Arcane Fissure, because it does do a significant amount of damage. Other than that, that is pretty much the main mechanics of this fight. Since we've already seen these ads, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fast forward to the next group of ads that we haven't seen, so I can cover those for the sake of time. Alright, now we're headed to the last boss, Doragosa. These true trash bombs right here is going to be Algeth'ar Echo Knight and the Spectral Invoker. The Echo Knight does a move called Astral Whirlwind. You're going to want to hard CC that or AoE CC that. If not, just step away. The Spectral Invoker has 2 moves. The Astral Bomb, try to kick that, but the more important one to kick is the Arcane Missile, because that one does do a pretty significant amount of damage. And this is going to be the last pull before Doragosa. The only thing that's different about this pull is there is an ad called Ethereal Restorer, and basically what happens is they'll cast Celestial Shield at low health. It cannot be kicked, and if you CC it, it will be recasted. So if you have someone like a Shaman or a Priest, a Mage, it can purge that move from them. Alright, and now we're moving on to Echo Doragosa. Basically how this fight goes is you want to dodge all arcane abilities that you can, because you're going to get stacks of overwhelming power, which increases damage by 5%. Now the first thing you see on the hunter over there gets energy bomb, and basically it randoms a target player, move away from them, or you'll get a stack as well. This one right here is the power vacuum. She pulls in all the players, and if you're in that radius, 20-yard radius, then you're going to get overwhelming power. She does the Astral Breath. It is a frontal cone, and you guessed it right, you'll get another stack of overwhelming power. So there's a lot of wash, rinse, repeat. So you see off to the right the Arcane Rift. Whenever you get 4 stacks of the overwhelming power, you'll drop an Arcane Rift, and the Arcane Rift can do a move what is called Uncontrolled Energy. Basically, you see where the orbs start popping out. If you get hit by that, it'll do pretty good damage, and then it'll give you another stack. So if you drop too many of these Arcane Rifts, you can start seeing that it gets pretty tough because everything's everywhere. So the longer that this fight goes on, the less space you have for this fight. So it's super important to try to keep this boss away from these pools. As you notice that I moved pretty far away on this side just so we can see what's coming towards us. So this wraps up the Algeth'ar Academy guide. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it, and if you did, you can go down to the bottom, hit the like and subscribe. If you think I missed anything, please leave me any comments down below, and if not, I'll see you on the next one.